Today's story, I call it the victory story. Welcome to the Relevant Woman Talk Show with me, Lois, Atcho. Today, my guest is going to inspire us with her wonderful story. She's going to tell us all that she has been through and how she has been able to attain the heights that she has attained in life today. And I hope that we all will be blessed and inspired to fight our individual battles, knowing that someone has been where we are now before and has been able to come out of it victoriously. My guest today is Mrs. Monica Kwawu. She's a wife. She's been married for 16 years. She's a mother of 3 children. She's a teacher by profession. And she's also a proprietress at Great God Academy, Community 25, Tema. And she's also a deaconess with the Church of Pentecost at Ashaiman Official Down District. Oh, Auntie Monica, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so good to have you here.
Yeah.
Yes, when I heard a little bit about you, I think I felt inspired, and I said, why not? Yes, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
Good. So, how did you get to where you are now? How did you get here?
Yeah, I think God has been so faithful. I always say God has given me victory, all by God. Just as we always see in the First Peter chapter 5 verse 10, which says that the God of all grace will allow you to struggle or suffer for a while, and then He will now make you stable, give you blessings, and establish you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you believe that it's God that allowed you to suffer the suffering that you went through for a while?
Yes.
And now you have victory.
Victory has come.
Okay.
And more victory to yet to come.
Amen. So how did it begin? Your childhood? Where were you born? And your family? How was it like?
Yeah, my dear. I'm a native of Aflao.
Okay.
In the Volta region. Okay. I grew up with my mom, that is a single mother.
Okay.
Okay. I think growing up came to a point where I was so desperate to know where my dad was.
I was just about to ask.
Yes. There were about 2 occasions where I met my dad. In fact, he came for a funeral, and so that was when I met him. But to specifically know where my dad stays or where he was, no idea. Every effort to convince my mom to show me where my dad is, it proved futile. And her reason was, you understand when you grow.
Oh, so meaning that right from your childhood, you didn't have any communication, like living with your dad or contact with him?
No.
Okay.
No, so it was the funeral that anytime he comes around to check on me. But,
okay.
I was having the feeling to know and maybe having a nice relationship with my dad as how every other child.
So were you an only child?
No, we are 5, and I am the second boy. I have the elderly brother.
Okay.
Yeah, so growing with my mom, as I am saying, it's a single mom who solely was taking care of us. And her profession at that time, she was a kayayo. My mom was a kayayo.
In Accra here?
No, at the border, the Togo border.
Okay.
So we always call them the border kayayo. And those who ever stayed around there, they know how their business is like. You see, you always see them with their pan and a box or basket waiting for people with goods so they can chase you and help carry the luggage for you. That was her profession.
Wow.
Yes.
So what happened? Did you eventually get in contact with your father?
I
Like
I
up
did.
until now?
No, when I was about marrying, that was when my husband, being a very good man, did the best. Says that, no, I can't marry you, though other family members agree. You should know where your dad is, and I also knowing your dad. So I know where he stays. When I was about marrying, by the pressure I got from my lovely husband.
Okay, so in terms of your education, coming from a single parent mother, and with the kind of job that she was doing, how was your education like?
It was full of hardship. It was so traumatic. In fact, my mom did very, very well, single-handedly supporting, and then, as you know, looking at the situation around, I have to also do few other things to support her. And to business like selling kinky in the morning and frying sweet potato in the evenings by the roadside, so I can support her. You know, because most of the time there's nothing like pocket money or snack or even breakfast. You have to go to school, come back, and come and get something to feed on. And that time too, I had a farm. I remember I had onion farm.
At what age?
That is, I think, getting to the latter part of my JHS, getting ready to go to
secondary school.
Yes.
You had a farm?
I had a farm. Yeah, I had a farm. I know how to nurse the onion, do onion farm on a larger scale. The backyard, the plot was a little bit bigger, so I was doing all that to support. But seriously, I stayed with my grandma more.
Okay.
Because it came to a point, my mom married to another man.
Okay.
And so I have to stay with my grandma. So with my grandma, feeding still, as I told you, was very difficult. So these are some of the things we were doing. We normally go to the market square to go and pick rotten oranges.
What would you do with rotten oranges?
We were feeding on it, my sister. We fed on. I was with my grandma with another cousin because my other brother was also staying with somebody somewhere, attending his secondary school. The other two, younger two that my mom had for another man, were with their dad. And so I was with my grandma. And so, yeah, it was full of joy seeing us at the market square picking rotten oranges with a cook story, telling the people that, oh, we have few goats that we want to go and feed them with the rotten oranges. Yes.
So, how long did this go on? Were you able to go to secondary school?
Yes, I did. I think this orange kind of thing was around the JHS primary, maybe upper primary, from class 4, they're about getting to, that is what we're doing.
But around that time, I remember JHS, that time, among friends, that's the time you are discussing, oh, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse, I want to be a journalist, and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Were those thoughts going through your mind?
Yes.
Going through all this?
It was.
And what were you thinking that
I
you
was
could be?
thinking of being a teacher. That is what I always tell. So in the class, when a teacher is not there, you always see me on the board teaching other people.
Okay.
And God being so good, I was also very brilliant. And so, and the teachers as role models at that time made me always see teachers as the
main
people. You know, communities like that,
yes,
you hardly see people of other professions. So I look at teaching profession, yeah, in fact, it's a noble profession. And so that is where my mind was. And so we always pick the rotten oranges. We come home with joy, and then you cut off the part that is too rotten beyond eating,
There are some people that you even give them food and the first question they ask is, where's the meat?
The meat.
If not, they will not
Yes,
eat.
they will not eat. They will not eat.
Wow.
Yes, so that is how it was. And then let me quickly also add that apart from the picking of the rotten oranges, my grandmom also devised another strategy of us getting more okra to make enough okra soup. And so I grew up, last I was telling my husband, I grew up to learn how to prepare groundnut soup and other soup. Our time,
Oh, you knew
nothing
what?
like, no, it's okra all the way. And so sometimes, and most at times,
You didn't know how to prepare abenkwai.
no, I learned it recently. I was discussing it with my husband. We're laughing over it. When I was getting ready to marry, I forced myself to learn. So when I started doing it, it wasn't going well at all until I mastered it small. So we normally go to the market. She'll be like, oh, take these 50 cedis. No, not 50, it's too big. 50 pesos or any coin that time. Then we normally go to the market and deposit it with these okra sellers. And so they can reserve the overgrown one, the rejected.
The ones that people don't actually want.
Those ones. So we have customers in the market. Immediately I get there and I give them the 50 pesos.
They understand.
They know, they understand
the kind of okra.
And so we don't buy our okra upright. We leave the money and come in the evening
to take
or the following day. Then we'll go for the okra, and trust me, you get more. Yes.
Okay.
And then you see us struggling to chop it, and we have enough.
You should have been a bad girl at that time to survive. Didn't it cross your mind? Didn't you, like, you know, you have a boyfriend there or some elderly man somewhere to help you?
You see, not at all. You see, as right now as a motivational speaker, I always tell the youth that one thing that is making the youth to go off and their life is solely on men is when you keep yourself busy and then you are working and you are generating something small for yourself. I think with a little bit of training and guidance, the young girls should be able to manage life until their time is due.
Now, sometimes these situations,
very
unbearable.
Yeah, so but I think one thing that helped me was my mom was also that kind of disciplinarian. You see, she had a lot of her own jargons. One of them I always remember is, Monica, if you don't know, you do what this person's daughter has done, I'll kill you and JJ will kill me. You remember those days?
Okay.
Yeah, when you kill, Rolling's time, I don't know, but this is what
she was telling you.
She always tells. She'll tell you. And then she has a nice way of controlling us. When she goes out and she hears that a young girl is pregnant, that is be the topic for the day she will bring home. She'll call you, hey, have you heard this? Will you do that? Will you go that way? And so that kind of fear,
she instilled it.
It was there. And the God even helped me. At that point, I quickly accepted Christ. And with a lot of teachings about Christ, He helped me.
So I'm thinking you were able to pass through your secondary school.
Oh, yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Teacher training.
Teacher training. You see, with the grandma too, there's another story that I don't leave it out at all. You see, it came to a point that she decided that she wants to keep pigs. You know, they are very, they produce more.
Yes.
Yeah, those who rear pig, they can tell you that pig is one of these animals that can
give birth
more. Some can give as many as 12 piglets. And so we decided to go into
that business.
So we started, how do we feed the pigs? My grandma asked me to go door to door and drop bucket with people and to tell them that they under banku, you know, you prepare banku the following day, you pour the water in for us. So
wow.
we go to pick them. And when we pick them, sometimes we dip our hands in them. You see people throwing some leftover bankus in those waters. We pick them. We'll be like, bring it in. We either heat it, we mash it, and then we add a kind of small corn powder and recook it and get another banku for ourselves.
For who?
For we. I ate it with my grandma.
I thought you were going to give it to
No,
the pig.
no. The pig, they will take their share and we also get our share. So if we are not fortunate to see some leftover banku, that is fine. But there are people who dispose of some leftover foods, especially banku, in that under banku water. And we pick.
Like, how? Where were your family members?
Yeah, I think...
You should have... Didn't you have aunties?
No, my mom was the only female.
Okay. Uncles?
Yeah, uncles. Some were not around. Some traveled. And a few of them, I can't really...
And your neighbors?
This is the life around that community. Maybe some other people might be better.
To church?
Yes, for the church, it came at the latter part. But my sister, it was like a norm. You know, at that age, you wouldn't say it as a problem. Are you getting me? Yes, that is the situation in which you are. It is recently that God being so good, when I begin to give an account of myself and what God is doing, that makes me to reflect and see that, say now, I was in hell. Do you get the point? And so as at that age, nothing but, at least at the end of the day, you have gotten something.
So when was the first day that you really had a nice meal and you know that as for this meal?
Nice meal. I started enjoying nice meal when I went to teacher training college and they were giving us food at the dining hall.
Okay.
And that was my first time of being in a boarding house. And so when I got there and they serve us the first meal, I was like, wow. Especially Sunday meals at St. Francis Teacher Training College, we normally take jollof rice. And so I was like, wow. So I have a friend who is called Gifty Sejuro. She is at Kwandu now. Recently, she was telling me that those days she remembered anytime we go to the dining hall, I'll be the first person to finish the food. Then I'll put my head down off. She's asleep. I'll sleep till everybody is done. They call me and then we go.
Oh my God, then you must be such a grateful person.
Yes.
Like every day, you don't take things for granted
not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And so that was what we were feeding on. We fed on chaff before.
So when you went to teacher training?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go for a quick break and then we'll be right back. Please stay tuned.
It's your Goria local drinks. We have assorted drinks such as Sobolo, Asana, Mashkinke, fruit juice. Your Goria na, your corner local.
Welcome back. Okay. Dickness. So yeah, before we went off, you were talking about your secondary school life, and I wanted to ask that when you went to secondary school, it became like an eye opener for you that there's another side of life.
Yes.
And how did that knowledge and realization influence you? Did you begin to feel like, okay, maybe I should leave my grandmother's place, or what was the experience like for you?
Okay, you know, secondary school, I'm a product of 3 towns secondary school. And then I was the girls prefect.
Oh, after all that?
After all that, very brilliant. I was the girl, 1998 batch to be precise.
Okay.
Now, after JHS, my mom called me and said, you cannot go to secondary school. Yeah, because the hardship is numerous. So your brother should continue to University of Ghana, and then you should learn how to sew. But I wept based on my performance in the primary school. I was the guest prefect there also. And so I encouraged my mom that whatever it will take, I will try my best. So from Aflau, my hometown, to 3,000 school at Denu would take like 6 kilometers. And she said she can't give me transportation, so I have to trek. So I walk with my school bag at my back.
What time do you wake up?
Yeah, as early as I can get there. There were most of the time that I normally get to school late, though. Yeah, so for first year, you say because of the joy in me, that is that me in secondary school now, and so whatever I would do to get there,
You would.
I have to. So I was trekking all that way. There were a few instances I was able to do few of my business and maybe take a lorry fare, board a car, sometimes coming back, I'll manage and trek back. So either going or coming, I was managing.
Yourself.
Yeah, I was managing. And so it was also not easy, though. So finally, it came to a point that she had a plot of land. And then she took us to the plot of land together with my elder brother and said, still things are not easy. I want to sell the plot of land.
Oh.
But we all wept together. The three of us wept. When we pleaded she should not sell the land. And she said, okay, then we'll see what God will do. But you people should remember that me too, Susu, one day I should enjoy it back. So science school too was harder and tougher, but God has been faithful.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, didn't your teacher training school experience influence you in, in any way?
As in
realizing that there's another part, there's another, like, oh, so there's another thing happening apart from what is happening to me, and some kind of something to attract you
to go there,
to go to
sure,
that side.
Sure. So I have a picture of where I study. I normally study in trees. I have particular tree where I climb. You always see me hiding there when I'm free. Where other people don't know, that is my base of studying. I have a picture to that effect. See me there hiding and studying. There were instances where you always see me in the library reading. Librarian will be like, oh, I'm going out to eat. Monique, won't you go out so you can lock? They normally want to lock when they go out. So he'll lock me in there so I can sit there, study past papers, and just targeting to be able to pass my WASI and that time was SSE. So I should be able to pass and surprise my mom. Because it came to a point that fear was there that you being a girl, you'll not be able to do it.
Oh, okay.
So I did my best, and God really helped me.
So at which point did you have a boyfriend or something?
Yeah, I think there were two issues. It came to a point that my grandma made some arrangement for me. But it came to a point I got to know the man was a married man. And so quickly, and it was at that point that I got repented also as a child of God. And so I didn't know earlier, but I had a dream. God revealed to me, and I saw the man's wife chasing me in the dream. And so I had to quickly come back, and I told my grandma, I'm not interested. Because this is what I saw. Had you been
married already?
No, not at all.
Man. Okay.
No, not
just
at all.
The arrangement.
The arrangement at that point. But being a repented soul, freshly repented at Assemblies of God Church under Pastor Moses Safo. And so with their teachings and guidance, God revealed to me. So I had a dream. And so quickly I informed my grandmama about it. She wasn't comfortable. But I have to write a letter to the man that I'm not interested.
Oh, okay.
And in the secondary school at the latter part too, there were few people. Looking at the hardship to a point where secondary school, I was even about quitting. I remember a guy also came to settle my school fees.
So you needed to pay back.
And I rejected because my mom warned me.
So how did you pay his money back to him?
No, I didn't collect it at all.
Oh.
Yes. Recently he called me and said, I understand why you didn't take my money. Yes. He didn't offer the money. It was a suggestion he brought on board. Okay. Looking at the way frequently they sack me from school because of school fees.
But Auntie Raja was telling me that you had been in the same sleeping place with animals before.
I did. With my grandma, we slept in the same single room with goats before.
Why?
Why? Because thieves were stealing her goats. She had about 4-6 goats that we were keeping in. But it came to a point that in the night, the goats sleep on the compound. So sometimes you wake up the following day to see that
one is missing.
One is missing, 2 is missing. And so I was there with 2 other cousins. So in the evenings, she brings the goats in.
How do human beings stay in one place?
Oh, it's very common. You see, we have a single room. So we had about 4 cement blocks. She picked about 4 cement blocks and put it at the corner of the room. So we have a rope around the block at the middle. So when we bring the goats in, for them not to disturb and move around, we do that kind of hook at the other end of the rope. And then we hang it on the neck of them. Goats, I'm telling you, Auntie Lois. Yes. The following day, you see their wee, their droppings. We just fetch sand. My side there is sandy. We had sand and sweep and collect. And we became used to it.
For how long?
Oh, it has been, it can be like 4-5 years. And it became normal.
Aunt Monica, and then why you find Tihazano?
Last, when I was still thinking through, I called my cousin, Abla, who said, is that a flower right now? I said, Abla, do you remember those days we were sleeping in the same room with goats? He said, oh, yes, Auntie, I remember. Yeah, it's true.
So how were you able to have a school? How did you come out?
Do you know, when you go to Exodus, chapter 1, verse 12, the Bible says that it came to a point in the life of the Israelites. The more they are oppressed, and the more God was blessing them, and they were multiplying. And then also in life, Auntie Lois, sometimes God takes you away of challenges. Sometimes God makes you to go through the challenges, and at the end of it all, He will glorify you. So it is amazing how God has been so faithful. We still have people who have worse story than mine. So why can't you believe this? It's true.
Wow.
Yes, it's true.
So it's not like someone just met you and carried money and gave you.
No. So what happened was that at secondary school, as I was telling you, I was about quitting. And so everybody, anytime they had the school master, house master comes with the list, you always see me. It came to a point, I gave excuse for long. And so it came to a point that I'll just pick my bag and away.
And go.
I'm on the way going. Until one day, God turned the situation around.
Amen.
What God did was, I was about going and the house master stopped me and said, Monica, don't go.
Hallelujah.
And so I stopped, and then he got closer to me and embraced me and said, somebody came and paid your school fees. So I was like, wow. Who? He said, oh, I don't know, but the person left his address and the name. And that time, phone wasn't common. So, and the person promised to come back.
Wow.
Straight to the library, I wept. And I didn't know the person. I think it was about a few weeks the person came around again. And that time, he came and then looked for me and introduced himself as somebody that my mother has been good to. My mother ever helped him.
Your mother, the Kayaye?
The Kayaye. And that was after I lost my mom. You know, final year I lost her.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So I was tired.
Yes. She fell sick and then she died. And that time, my younger siblings, they were two, one 6 years, another 3 years, were taken to the orphanage.
Oh.
Yes. They grew in the orphanage. And so I was the only one in the same school. Final year when I received the news that my mother passed on. In fact, I was with her at the sick bed, and the day she passed on was the day she forced me to go to school. So on my way coming home, then I saw people at the entrance of the mortuary, and then I saw few family members.
So you understood?
My mother was off. So after the burial and everything, and then my two younger siblings were taken to the orphanage at Agape Home. Adenta, to be specific. I'm giving you the things to know. It's a true story. So about finally deciding that there's nobody to help me again, and then let me stop the school was at the point when that man came in and explained, you say, that your mother has been faithful to me, and something is pushing me to pay her back, just as how David paid back Mephi Bosheth in the Bible. Jonathan has ever been good to David, and after everything, David looked for Jonathan's son or child and has been good. And that story happened in my life.
Wow.
So he came in and supported me.
It means that one day,
Yep.
just one day, sometimes we get tired.
Yeah.
We don't have hope.
Yep.
But one day, God can turn
things
our lives around.
Yes.
So it doesn't matter what we are going
Not
through.
at all.
We need to keep our faith in God.
In God. So the turnaround came when I knew Christ. I think that moved me on. So you always see me praying around.
So that man's help to you, was it just one time?
It wasn't at all. So after the science school, now it's left with me to go to
teacher training.
I think he even brought the idea and encouraged me that as the situation is, it's better you buy the form for teacher training. You know why?
No.
Yeah, the reason is training college then there was this kind of allowance.
Alawa.
So he encouraged me that going to training college would do you good.
Oh, but you had forgotten that you wanted to be a teacher.
I've forgotten. Yes. So he encouraged me that go to teacher training, and then going to teacher training, if for nothing at all, the allowance will support you, sustain you. And so teacher training, he bought the form for me, he helped me and paid admission, and he left me. And I think the allowance was what I was, because at teacher training, we were being fed, the 3 square meals. So I always depend on that. With a small allowance, I'll send some to my grandma back home. Then I was using the rest to take care of myself till I finished. And I was posted to Bando. And fortunately for me, and by the grace of God, I fell in the hand of a very good pastor also there, Deliverance Assemblies of God Church, Pastor Johnson Safo. He trained me, and he also helped me and built me up and gave me the hope, always giving me the word of encouragement.
I really believe in training.
Yes.
But there are some people who think it will just happen.
No.
You need to train yourself so that you are ready for when the opportunity, a bigger opportunity comes, you are ready. That's not the time that you are going to put yourself together, that you are going to train yourself.
Yeah, so when I got there, I have to look for church. Yes, where is church? Where is Assemblies of God? You know, I remember I told you at Kwawu,
yes,
Assemblies of
Assemblies
God.
of
So when
God.
I was posted there, where is my church? So quickly I got there. He embraced me, and then training continued, giving you hope and encouraging you that God will open bigger door for you. And I tap into those words.
Wow.
And this is what God is doing.
Wow.
Yes.
So you taught for a while, for like how many years?
I taught for 18 years now. Yes. As a professional teacher for 18 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go for another break, and when we come back, we'll delve into the liberation stories.
All right.
Okay. Please stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's your Goria local drinks. We have assorted drinks such as Sobolo, Asana, Mashkinke, fruit juice. Your Goria na your corner local.
Welcome back. We're going to delve into where the victory came. Yes. Okay. So, Deaconess, you taught for how long after teacher training?
Yes, for 18 years now.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And along the way, you decided to start a school.
Yeah,
What was the passion behind the school?
Yes, even back at wherever I was posted, I feel so bad when I see children in such conditions.
Yeah, because you have first-hand experience.
Yes, you know, when you ever teach in typical villages, you see children barefooted, some with only one button at the middle or at the top of their uniform. And so I started thinking and having some kind of compassion for them. So there were instances in my schools that I taught in villages. You see me with blade, needle, and
buttons.
Buttons, I normally remove it from the other children. You know, there are some children, they have extra buttons. So you see me trying to go to classes, can I take this button? Because you are not really
using it.
Can I take it off? So with blade, I take, then I go and feast for somebody who is having only one at the middle. Sometimes I look for some old shoes, go and then give shoes to those people.
Wow.
There were instances, that vacation day, I'll bring all the children to my home. We'll look for about 4 mortars and then we'll pound fufu together.
Everybody should eat.
Yes. So I remember one village, when I've been transferred, the paramount chief of the community brought, they came with the linguists and this thing, and they pleaded that your transfer is causing our children to stop the school because most of them wept why you should be transferred. So I was having that passion.
Great impact.
Yes. I was having the passion to impart the children, to talk to them, share these pieces of advice with them, and let them know they have no cause not to finish their education. So if you are doing it there, why not have your own school?
Your own. Where you can control.
You can control them. You train them in a godly way. So in my school, Bible knowledge is part of my curriculum.
Oh, wow.
You have to study it, pray, get some NGOs to give them Bible. We have time that you have to discuss Bible with them, share stories with them, and then impart some of them. So that has been my passion. The only opportunity I can get the children, impart in them, godly way, share my testimony with them. It's when I have a school.
Yeah.
So that has been my passion.
So how did you start the school? Did you rent a big house or some start in their living room?
Something small, I rented though.
Okay.
But I started small, and you know, the mindset that you have for the thing makes God to reign. And I always see God in what I am doing now.
Wow.
Yes.
So how many children do you have in the school? Well, now there's COVID.
COVID,
But before that?
Before that, about 72 kids.
That's good.
That's great. Yes.
So now that COVID has come, how's the school? You're waiting until?
Yeah, we are waiting, but always in touch with my kids. Yes, always visit them. Sometimes prepare project work. I believe in the hard copy because of the kids I have around. You know, it's not all of them that have the gadgets and other things.
True.
So I decided to go the hard copy way.
Okay.
So with few teachers on board, we prepared something like project work, package it nicely, and then we deliver at their doorsteps. So you do it, yes. Sometimes the parents come to pick, and Friday they are done, you bring it, you come for another set. And so with that, you see, one disadvantage I'm getting is that very soon after this COVID, parents are now going to struggle to take the children's mind from this phone and other
gadgets.
That's going to be another battle we are going to fight. So for me, looking at my situation, that most parents the gadget is not common there, why not devise another means? So I've gone for the hard copy. So they look at it as one of their project ways. When they are done, they bring it, come for another set.
Oh. So now, as a deaconess in church, what are the things you do in church?
In church, I do a lot of talking. I speak a lot. I'm a youth activist.
Okay.
Yes. Sometimes I go harder on them based on where I'm coming from. You can't tell me because of hardship you are doing this. Why not do this? Why not do this and support yourself? Don't you think your future is bright? Can't you look at me? Who knows I'll be here today? God has a plan for you. So as some kind of motivational speaker, I always speak at programs to encourage them. And also I do a lot of counseling work, one-on-one, marital side, and group ones. So a lot of calls come in, those that you are to meet them one-on-one and counsel them. I think that gift too is naturally there.
And your children, how are you training them? You know, some people, because they suffered, they let their children to suffer small.
Yeah.
Are you doing that to your children?
No, not at all. But you see, one thing you should also understand is you won't let the children suffer. But once a while, children should know the reality of life. There are certain things that you have to explain to children. And so that is what I let them know. For instance, we shouldn't be parents where a child should have everything that the child needs. Trust me, you can go to homes where you have prepared something and the child tells you, I will not eat this. Go and buy that for me. You should let the child know that this is what we have. Let's eat this together. So this should be part of training at home. So per the few experience I have, we use it to educate them and guide them. And so they know the reality of life.
And now God has really blessed you.
He did.
And I hope your siblings are out of the orphanage home.
Yes, they are out now.
You took them out?
Yes, they are out.
Wow.
You know, orphanage after 18 years, they want you to reconcile with your family members. And
okay.
Yes. And so other people can get the opportunity to go there. So they are out now.
Wow. And they are doing well?
They are doing well by God's grace.
Wow.
Yes.
So how are you going to what is your message sorry, to women out there? I focus more on women. We are very vulnerable. We get ourselves, because of sex, childbirth and all those things, we find ourselves in it becomes like a chain of vulnerability. For you, it started from your mother. Maybe if your mother didn't have you, you won't be here to suffer.
Exactly.
But your mother had you.
Yes.
And what she had to offer you was all she could offer you.
Yes.
And you, at a point, you have to find your way around. And it becomes like a series of issues.
Yeah.
So what is your message for women?
Yes. I have a lot of message for women that maybe in subsequent meetings we'll discuss. You see, one of them is women should do their best to help their kids, their children. And I'll give you one example. You see, after the death of my mom, because I'm the elderly daughter, I've been asked to pick few clothes, her clothes from her bag, so they can wrap around the dead body and other stuff. I got there, not even one kaba. This is the kaba, no, the slit and the wrapper. Not even one did I get. You know what my mom did? It was only left with the kaba, but the slit wasn't there.
Where was it?
She sold the slit and she was selling the slit and the wrapper.
And the wrapper.
She sold them, not knowing all other things she was doing to sponsor my brother at the university. By then, she was selling the down and the wrapper. So I got there and they asked me, go and bring some clothes, let's wrap around the dead body. They are dressing the devil. I got there.
There was nothing.
Only the top.
Cover.
And the previous day, they were having pants that they packed their clothes inside, not bag, really, pants. So I opened this pan.
Nothing.
Only cover, no down. Open this, no down.
So what did you do?
Yes, I became confused, and I think some extended aunties who came for the funeral came in. And whatever they did, I can't really remember because I was in tears. So you see, mothers are life givers. You know that?
Yes.
Mothers are life givers. God in his own wisdom allow women to give birth. And so everything, majority of the things depend on women. If women want to do, they can do. Single-handedly, this woman was able to do this. I always celebrate. I tell God, if my mom were to be alive, I'll celebrate this woman to the highest point. So there are women out there who are single mothers. Some are widows. Some are vulnerable. But I just want to encourage them. But first, they should trust God. They should do their best. Any effort that a woman takes with a genuine heart and the fear of God, what I always say is that God's finger comes in. And so God will help them if they have it at the back of their mind that I can do it through Christ who strengthens me. God will help them. Single-handedly, God will help them.
We shouldn't depend on men.
They should not give up.
We shouldn't depend on men.
They should not kill themselves. You know, you need support from men. But in a situation where it is not there, you have to kill yourself. Today, Auntie Lois, if my mom were to be alive, won't she be very happy?
She'll be very, very happy.
Yes. You see.
She'll be very happy.
So there are women who are so frustrated. Some, they are doing the undo. All because a man is not supporting me. I'm a single mother. I don't have anybody to help me. Some are killing themselves. Some are going to the extra mile to practice the unpracticed.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
Yes. Last I was speaking at a program and I met the little ones, the children. I said, what are some of the things your parents do that you don't like? A child raised up the hand and said, our parents give their body to men. I was at a program last time, National Children's Week, and I spoke at one program, met the children, said, Auntie Monica, some of our parents give their body to men. I spoke with a child before, a school girl. I listened to a story from a school girl who says that we asked her, your mother said you don't sleep at home. What happened? So, Auntie Monica, she always bring a man in, so I have to also go out. So we want to encourage the women out there that with God, all things are possible. Definitely not going to be easy, but God will help you. With hard work, commitment, God, and training, God will help.
Wow. Auntie Monica, you've said things. We are life givers. If we allow ourselves to take seed and we allow ourselves to give birth to those children, then we should allow ourselves to take care of those children as well.
Yes.
We shouldn't let anything stop us.
Exactly.
And we shouldn't do things that are not supposed to be done just to do what we need to do. But we should focus on God
Yes.
and train ourselves, sacrifice in life, suffer today,
Yeah.
in the future you will enjoy.
You enjoy. Yeah,
The Bible
exactly.
says to avoid dogu in so
Nsuo
that thing by then. Who will serve a can? Yes. So thank you so much for coming today. Thank you for encouraging us.
Yeah.
I believe that my viewers have benefited from you, and they will work hard, better themselves, and become relevant women in society, just as you have become a relevant woman. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All too soon, we come to the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it, you have learned, you've been inspired, and you're going to subscribe by hitting the subscription button. You're going to like and share as well, and also leave your comment after watching it. And I pray that after you have left, after watching, you will put to practice. You will do something. You will do better. You will not look down on yourself and feel pity. Even when you do, pick up yourself and fight, because there's victory. Always there's victory, if only you do not quit. So till I come your way again, I sign off here. Bye bye.